Hello and welcome back to the latest episode of the Seals Play Football Podcast. My name is Thomas Kelly and I'm joined today by Jack Latham and Jack Taylor. And today we are going to be breaking down Chester's impressive cup run so far, their recent results, and we're going to be hearing a little bit from Calvin Williams, the manager. So Chester last weekend defeated Crewe 2-1 in the cup quarterfinals. What did you pair make of that performance?
I thought it was a great performance really by Chester, quite a battling display. It wasn't the best game. There wasn't many chances in the first half. Neither side were really able to create anything clear-cut, but in the second, Crewe got a penalty, maybe quite a harsh penalty. I don't think Ava, the goalkeeper, I don't think she really touched the attacker, but it got given and she tucked it away, the striker, to be fair to her. But, Chester persevered. They kept attacking. They created some more chances in the second half, to be fair to them. And it was a screamer by Sarah Redmond to equalise the game right at the death, take the game to extra time. And, they got the winner there, and good display in the end, really.
I think coming into the game as well, we knew it was going to be a tough game for Chester women. Obviously, Crewe in a division above, they obviously a stronger side. And Calvin, before the game, spoke on how he wanted to go in, be a dominant side to show their strengths, and that's exactly what they did. They fought throughout the whole game. They didn't stop, they didn't slow down. A lot of teams would probably come into this game and as soon as the penalty was given, they'd give up. They would just be like, well, that was our chance, that's it now, we move on to the next game. But no, it got to the 90th minute and they persevered, they got back into the game, and look where they are now. They're now further in the cup and they have a chance to go on and win it all.
Yeah, you guys summed it up really well. I think they had a really brilliant spirit throughout the whole game. Let's hear what manager Calvin had to say about that.
I think you've just seen it, like we've done it in the last two rounds now, where they don't know when they're beating this group, to be fair to them. Even against Atherton, we went at our best and we managed to find a way to score a goal. And then obviously the extra time, we sort of planned that we have a plan to make sure that if we can score, great. Let's keep it tight after that. And we've done that in the last two rounds, to be fair to them. And you can see as soon as that final whistle went, it was just the players didn't know what to do with themselves. Making history, like it's pretty special. And even Bryson and the staff, we were so proud of them. Because they work so hard. I think for them to go 1-0 down in the game, by the way, it wasn't a true reflection of how good they were on the day. Obviously, a decision went against us. It is what it is, and there's not much you can do about that. But we created X amount of chances in the game to probably score. The final third entries was just didn't really make it count. But to find a way to win the game, it was pretty special, and it's definitely to keep the cup run alive and to be in the semi-finals is pretty special, and it means a lot to the players, myself, and I can really look at it and go, yeah, we've done really well.
So as you guys have mentioned, obviously Sarah Redmond scored the goal to send that game to extra time. How big a moment was that, and how important do you feel that she is to sort of the team as a whole?
Oh, it was a really big moment for the team and her, especially individually. It was a great strike, like I said before, just on the half volley on the edge of the box, top left corner. And like you mentioned then, she's really important to the side. She breaks up the loose balls in midfield. She plays through the line. She's a great passer of the ball. And I think she's got that experience that Calvin and his team needs. And I think she led them to victory, really. Led them to get the equaliser and then pushed them forwards in extra time.
Yeah, definitely. I think she's one of the only older members of the squad. I mean, speaking to Calvin personally, he mentioned how a lot of these players are 16, 17-year-olds, so they have a very young squad. It's very much a development side, and to be fair to them, having such a young squad and doing so well is a credit to them. But having Sarah Redmond in the side, like Jack said, the experience is needed. It's necessary, especially in the middle of the park. I think that's a position where you do need the experience. You see football players over the years for different experienced Premier League sides having these older players in that role, and I think her having this moment it's such a big moment. It's one of the biggest moments in the season so far. I think it just puts a credit on her name because I think she goes under the radar quite a lot.
Yeah, let's hear what Calvin had to say about how important Redmond is to their team.
Redders has been unbelievable this season. And that's not fair for me to just point out one player, but we've got to remember that Redders has been at the club for 10 years, and she wears the badge with pride, and she leads the group really well. And she might not be the loudest, she might not be someone who screams at you, but she's so experienced, and how she does it is a true role model. And the way she plays is just unbelievable. Like I'm not saying it because she plays for us. If I watched her playing for another team, I'd just go, fair play, what a player she is. The way she tackles, the distance she covers in a game, heads the ball, literally runs every blade of grass. It's pretty special, isn't it? And for us to have her in our group, it's we're very lucky to have that. But it's some goal. And to be fair to her, like I asked, have you scored a goal like that before? And she just went, probably not as good as that. But it was like the players have watched it back and back, and you can see Kira and Sophie O'Neill like bowing down to her, saying, "Wow, what a goal!" And I didn't realise that until we had our team meeting on Thursday, and they asked to watch it on the big screen, the goal. But she's been superb, and I think sometimes she doesn't get enough plaudits for what she does. People talk about Sophie O'Neill, Lola Smith, Kira Lee, Emma Clausen, players like that, but you've got to remember that there's players like Redders, Lucy, Katie, Liv Cullen, Ali, Ava. There's players that are keeping the ball out of the net and they're building the attack. So, yeah, we're very lucky to have her, and she's a true leader and a real inspiration to everyone at Chester.
On the back of their quarter-final victory, Chester have drawn Accrington Stanley at home in the semi-finals, a home game in the semi-final before a potential home game in the cup final. How important is the home advantage going to be for Chester, and how tough a task do you think facing Accrington Stanley will be?
Yeah, the home advantage is really important, especially in the cup competitions, because you obviously got your fans coming down. They played quite a lot of home games this calendar year, and they've been good at home. I know the only loss was against Manchester Laces, but even that wasn't really the most deserving of victories for the away side. But Accrington Stanley, they're going to come. They're going to want to get to the final just like Chester will. I think Calvin said they're on a similar level, or the same level to Chester. So it's a good opportunity to get to the cup final. I know AFC Fylde, they'll probably get to the final, they're a good side. So a trip to face them in the final, potentially, that's something that Chester will be hoping for.
I think it's quite a big opportunity, like you said, that it's the best route they could have had to go to the final. They've come over the challenges of Crewe. They've now got Accrington Stanley. I think it's their time. I have faith in them after seeing them throughout the whole season. There's nothing that's going to stop them. There's nothing that can get in their way when they have the fight, when they persevere the way they do. I really think they can go all the way to the final. I think they could win the final personally. I think they show the quality on the ball, off the ball. Many players that go under the radar that don't get mentioned deserve to be mentioned in these big games. They are clutch players, and I think Accrington will be an entertaining game. I'm excited to see the game personally. I think Chester play entertaining football, and let's see what Accrington can bring to the table against them.
Yeah, manager Calvin Williams is under no impressions this will be an easy affair for his side, and let's get his thoughts ahead of the semi-finals.
To be honest with you, looking at it, I was like, we're going to get, like, obviously the other quarterfinals not been played yet. And I don't know why, I just had it in my head that we're going to be away again. We're away the first round against Laces. Obviously, we were at home against Afton, which was nice. And then to go to Crewe, I was like, if we get through here, I just didn't think we're going to get a home draw. But for us to get a home draw, be back at the Diva, and we've made it into a fortress. The players have made it into a true fortress. No one really wants to come there when we've got a lot of people there. Like, even against Crewe, we had Chester fans banging a drum. I know they were kids, but they really got behind the team. And then obviously we're trying to get everyone down, and they are coming down, to be fair to them, and they've really spurred us on a little bit. Like, since I've came in, it's been pretty special. Like, they've supported me really well. So I can't thank the fans enough for that. But to be one win away, to be for the finals get played at the Diva as well, by the way, right, which is pretty mad. you know, it's exciting. It's exciting times for the club, but we've got to keep our feet on the ground, and we can't be looking too far ahead. We can't be going, right, and put any disrespect on Accrington. Accrington are a good side. I've already watched little bits of them, done a little bit of research, and you know they're a good side, and it will be a great game. I'm sure if people come down again, they'll be like, it's two good sides playing football again. Very fast pace, and you know it's pretty special. And like I said, if regardless what happens on the 12th of April, we can just go, do you know what? As long as we give it a good go, we can be really proud of this cup run. And you know, to be at the Diva, it's a home advantage, and hopefully we can do the fans and the club proud.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Seals Play Football. We hope to see you next time. Bye.
See you later.
See you later.